All right, all you snowboarders of the internet, we're here, we're live, we're taking your questions. So get them in the chat box wherever they appear on your device. We're going to try to answer them. Super chats do get a spin of the wheel. We're going to just kind of do that. There's no new prizes this week, so you might win stickers, t-shirt, I don't know. Whatever you guys want on there. No top 5 this week. Ended up doing with a bunch of shit. So yeah, anyways, there's that. So let's take some questions, kind of go from there. I know I'm missing a super chat from Letters because he hasn't been here for a while, and he's pretty much just doing his thing over in Idaho. So look at that for a boy Letters. Pray to the altar of snowboarding. All right. We got Manfish Taco. What are some high-end park boards in the same vein as stuff like the Nitro Beast, the Ride Bench Warmer, and the Rome Stale Mod? I like the Beast, but it seems a bit skinny for a 10.5 boot for anything but pure park use. Well, it's a high-end pure park board. But I would also look at the Capita Outsiders. That would be another one to definitely consider. To an extent, the Carua Auto is kind of a high-end park board. I mean, it's a park carving board. So we got that going on there as well. There's the Huck Knife Pro, but I'd wait till next year's because they beefed it up. Let's see what else. There's the Evil Twin Plus for next year, but that would essentially be the Jam this year. You can kind of get away with that on there as well. So there's a few options for you. We got Josh Webster. Hey, Angry, last week a skier cut me off quite badly. Anyway, I saw he stopped ahead of me, so I snowboarded into him and pushed him over into a fence. Did I handle the situation correctly? He was okay. I mean, he still has his skis. You're supposed to take his skis. You're supposed to hit him hard enough that he ejects. Then you take his skis and you throw him into the woods. He ain't going to cut you off if he can't have his skis. I mean, that's just logic right there. All right. So we got Night Fighter. Have you reviewed the Flux XF bindings? Yes. Didn't see it on Angry VIP. Wouldn't be there. It's on angrysnowboarder.com. Any quick thoughts? It's not a bad binding, but like all Fluxes, there's like literally no dampening underfoot, so you feel everything on there. Coming from a Malavita, the XF would probably be closer to like a Cartel, or maybe even a Cartel X in that situation. So. Ooh, spin again. We're doing it. All right. Smash that like button, people. Smash that like button. Okay. Let's see what we got here for other questions. Okay. We got Spectre. Hey, Avran, looking at a new board, currently riding an Evil Twin 156 wide, was looking at the Battalion Surfer 159 or the Thunderbolt 159 wide. Backcountry pow trees, or should I look at something else? If you really like Battalion and you're looking for more of a pow board, that's where the Surfer comes in. But it does have some limitations. Now, if you're looking for more versatility where you can still ride it on the resort, take it in the backcountry, go ride trees, go ride pow with it, that's where the Thunderbolt comes in. If you're looking for something a little more directional, I would say look at the Camel Toe or the Camel 2, and the difference is going to be the flex in there. The Camel Toe is going to be softer than the Camel 2. And if you want some stuff from other brands, because you're looking for backcountry pow trees, so I would look at, well, let's see what we got here. I would look at anything from Amplid, like the Soli Grail, the Aloha Vibes, Spray Tray, something like that. If you go to K2, you're probably looking at like your Excavator would be really good right there. If you do Rome, you're looking at like the Stale Fish, but that's more of a party board. Jones, you're probably looking at like a Storm Wolf. You could do a Storm Chaser, even a Hovercraft as well. So you got plenty of options right there. Okay, let's see. Road Trip Prohan. What's your opinion on the Nidecker Supermatic bindings? I was supposed to ride them this week, but we got a ton of fucking snow, so I had to go ride powder boards because all I have is snowboards that I need to ride. Like this is all stuff I have to film right now. These are boards I have to film that are in this room. And I've got 5 stacks. It's like 40 something other boards that I've got to ride. Oh yeah, there's the new Rome Ravine Select for next year for you guys too, right there in the corner, right there. There's the regular Ravine. So, but yeah, I need to get on the Supermatics, but I want to spend a whole day on them and devote just one full day. And I want ideal conditions. Like I want to be able to take it pow, slush, chop, chunder. Like right now, we're kind of getting a mix of everything. So I want to do it. Do I think they'll work? Yes. I need to sit down and take them apart and put them back together and kind of play with them as well. Let's see. Okay, we got Zach Trosian. Is there any big difference between the Jones Stratus and the new 2023 Mind Expander? Shaping, side cut, flex, camber profile. Stratus is probably closer to the old Mind Expander compared to the new Mind Expander because the new Mind Expander's got camber in it and it rides close. It rides like a downgraded Ultra Mind Expander. You lose some of the nimbleness in it and you gain more power out of the tail. Whereas the Stratus is just really a weird shaped mountain twin. That's realistically what it is. So yeah. Okay. Nico Herrera, currently riding a 21 Ride Wildlife, and I'm wanting to progress into the park. Keep hearing not good for rails or jibs. What are your thoughts? I appreciate you. It's a stiff board. The Wildlife is stiffer than you'd think. I mean, can you hit rails? Yeah. Are you going to be able to do presses? Not really. Like you're going to do like these tiny little ass presses on there. It's just not what it's a free ride board. It really is. It's a free ride board. So yeah. So yeah. All right. Anyways, okay. D Rick Avran, you lately said you're not a fan of Burton's channel system. I've never been a fan of the channel system. Do you think I care? I don't fucking like it. Although you're a big fan of Endeavor, is their channel system different anyway? No, it's just the old channel system. That's it. It's literally, it's the same fucking thing. Am I happy it's on there? No, but the board rides the way I want it to. I don't trust it. I have to constantly check those screws every other day that I use it. So, yeah. Okay. Kevius Billy, have you heard of Pulse Outerwear? Appears to be a Chinese knockoff brand copying Volcom's exact jacket design. So it's probably coming out of the same factory that China is or close or Volcom is. I haven't heard of them. I mean, am I surprised? No. There's so much fucking knockoff garbage. I mean, I've got a fucking stack of it sitting over there in the corner that I need to review. So yeah. Huh? Yeah. Tim Hunt, bring on the tweaker review. Yeah, the tweaker's right there. I actually wrote it this week. So this is an early release this year for Jones. It's their first full true twin parkboard camber. Super blended out shape though. You can actually see it in the tip kicking in there, and it's got the 3D shaping in there. The weird thing, the unique thing is that they actually profile the tips to be a little thicker and stiffer, and then it gets softer in between. I mean, I wrote it. You can kind of notice it, but what you really notice is like there's set flex points on how this thing did it. This is actually like literally the loosest Jones board I've ever ridden in my life. And when I mean loose, I mean it was friggin' super, super loose. Okay. Jacob Everson. Hey, Avran, riding my last day of the season on Sunday. Do you have any recommendations for prepping boards for storage in the off season? Base cleaner. Don't drink it. Don't drink it. Skull and crossbones. Don't drink this. Base cleaner, rag. Take all the grease, strip everything off, pull your bindings off, wipe down the inserts, wipe everything down. You know, keep it out of direct sunlight. Don't feed it after midnight. Don't get it wet. You know, treat it like a mogwai. You'll be fine. Okay. Oh, this is a good one from James. Hey, Avran, what's the most environmentally friendly thing to do with old bindings or boards that shouldn't be used anymore? Gear that couldn't be given away in good faith. So snowboards, you can cut them and turn them into like cruiser skateboards. You can make benches out of them. You can make shelves out of them, or you can wall mount them if they have good artwork. For bindings, pull the high backs off, and then you put a rod through them if you have a man cave where you got your own draft system. So you put a rod through the high back, and then you can slide it over a tap handle. Then you have a high back tap handle. The other thing that you can do with them is, so you take the high back off, and you basically mount the binding to the wall with the strap, and you can use it as like a ratchet to click it back through if the ratchets are still good, and it becomes kind of like something to hang shit on in the garage and whatnot. Otherwise, you know, you could just burn them and say, fuck the environment. I mean, nothing we do matters anymore. So, you know, there's that. I don't recommend that. It's toxic. Let's see what else. You know, if you want to become a really weird Italian shoe designer, you could turn them into shoes, because for some reason every year someone sends me photos of some weird binding high heel shoe thing. So there's that. With old snowboard boots, you can actually pack them full of dirt and turn them into flower planters. That's a really good thing to do with them as well. So yeah, there's a few options that you can do with things like that. Okay. All right. Damien S. Zima or White Claws? Dude, seriously, you got to ask that? I got a Zima sitting right up there. Just waiting for Randy to come back and finish it. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Looking for questions. Oh, we got one from Patrick. Love the cultural mystery link of the week. Did you ever get a chance to try out Technine's baseless bindings? No. Or any baseless bindings for that matter? Yes. I rode old ride baseless bindings way back in the day for some fucking reason. Probably because I was stupid and was a teenager. Okay. Waco from Carua. What is the biggest difference between the auto and the transition finder? Shape, side cut, flex pattern. So the auto is more like a popsicle stick shaped board. You really notice that, and it carves completely different than the transition finder. Transition finder's got that more pointy tip in there. So it changes the dynamic when you get it in POW. Like with the auto, it's just like an old school snowboard. So it's just sort of just planing across, where the TF with that point will help funnel it out just a little bit in there. And the pop on there as well. So yeah. Okay. All right. I sound cow. Short fat boards usually are said to be easier to maneuver, but traditional shape boards have narrower width, which also makes turning quicker, which is actually better for, say, tree runs. You're not taking into account camber profile and flex pattern on there as well. That just plays so much into it right there that people don't understand that. Like, I was riding the new Marhar Lumberjack sample that I got, which they put in a thicker core, in it, and in the process, it stiffened up the tip and the tail, but it stiffened it, which was awesome. That was absolutely amazing how much that popped, because I've ridden every generation of the lumberjack. But it stiffened it up between the feet to the point you lost the torsional flex. So getting in the trees, that thing was like riding a boat. It was scary. You like just had to haul ass and throw your weight into it. And it was so different than how it had ever ridden, and it changed the dynamic. I was actually texting Nate from Marhar, and I was like, hey, you need to reprofile between the feet, which they will. I know they will, and stuff. So he's already started working on that and looking into it. But now let's say you want to go ride something that's just a regular popsicle stick shaped snowboard. Yeah, it's got a narrow waist on it. Okay, that's cool. It's got a narrow waist. But if it has no torsional flex to match that narrow waist, all you're doing is just rolling on edge. It's not nimble because you're not being able to independently steer it in the trees, which you do a lot of in there. So you got to take all of that into consideration when you're actually riding it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, we got Anthony Hum. GNU Gremlin, yes, the Y, or yes, optimistic. What's the most freestyle all mountain? The Y. It'll have the softest flex. So in terms of flex, it goes optimistic, Gremlin, Y. So the Y will be the most playful. And just with the shaping on it and stuff, you can actually kind of ride that a little more switch. The optimistic is just a little more burly and whatnot. So yeah. Okay. All right. We got super chat from Carlos Enriquez. Greetings, fellow snowboarders of the internet. Avran, you see me ride a little bit. Can you build me a quiver? Yeah, for sure. I got you on this one. So you need to go get yourself another Arbor Gucci because you loved it and you broke it and it died. So there, you got that one. You've got your Endeavor archetype for POW. You've got your Capita Super DOA, which I don't think you're totally in love with. So I would ditch the Super DOA and probably bump you down to a Mercury on that from Capita in there. Then we need to give you a party board. And for a guy your size and for the fact that you're really super directional in how you ride everything, I think a slush slasher would be totally fine. Or we put you on like a Tellus backslash or a Rome stalefish, maybe even a niche pyre. And I think right there, that kind of covers all your bases because you're not a park guy. So hopefully that answers that question for you, Carlos. Ooh, next non-super chat gets a spin. Let's take a question here. All right, we got Konstantinos Chronopoulos. Yo, ever thinking of going Super DOA next season, but not sure what size? I mostly like charging, hitting side hits, and I'll occasionally enter the park. I am 5'11", 163 pounds, 10 US boot. Thanks, man. I don't think you want a Super DOA since you're occasionally hitting the park. You don't need the twin. Like, you probably need a Mega Merc, in all honesty. That little bit of setback would help you on there. I think that's the better one to go with. And at your stats, and for what you're looking to do, I'd probably go with like a 157 and you'd be totally fine. I think that's what you need more than the Super DOA. That's right. Spray skiers. All right. Let's see what we got here. Okay, we got Ian. Bought my last 3 boards from your reviews. Much appreciated. Keep it up. Headed to Hood next week for some fresh snow. They're calling for it. Yeah, hopefully they're getting snow. The West needs snow or it's going to burn. Well, I mean, it's already burning. We're just going to burn more. Ouch. Lose a turn. That's rough. All right. Tim Hunt looking for a spin. Ooh, support the Shred Foundation, people. Support the Shred Foundation. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Looking for someone. Super Dummy Haver and my girlfriend just got herself a yes, hell yes. Do you have any binding recommendations for her? Yeah, the Now Condas, the Bent Metal Metas. I think that's what it's called. It's the Meta. I would probably go check out Burton, like the Lexa, the Scribe, something like that. The women's katana as well from Rome is super solid, or even the Guild. So that should give you a few options there. So, all right. Okay. Where were we? I feel like I'm missing something here. Okay, Patrick S. On a serious note, how many boards does it take to cover weather styles in general all riding days? I'm thinking park, jib, power/volume shifter, plus one all mountain. Honestly, one snowboard is all you need. You just get an all mountain board. That's it. It'll do everything. It's not going to be good at every one thing, but it'll do it all. I mean, you can go out and just ride it all day and do it. I mean, today I was testing the new. Well, it's not even nothing even changed on it, but I rode the Jones Mind Expander Twin. I bumped up to a 58 because last year I rode the 54 and that thing was squirrely. The 58 was better. That's one of the few boards you want to upsize on. And I rode the Marhar Lumberjack today. Like, they're powder twins. I rode the whole mountain on them. I was laying carves. I went in the park. I smashed POW, which POW was a little questionable at spots today. A little questionable. But yeah, you really only need one. So yeah, that's it. But I mean, if you're looking to cover all your bases, you want all mountain freestyle free ride, depending which way you lean. If you're a park guy, you go all mountain free style. If you're more free ride, you go all mountain free ride. Something that can still handle in the free ride spectrum, that can still handle going in the park. So you're looking at like your K2 Manifest team. It's a prime example of something like that. You know, you can hit a jump, you can hit a jib if you absolutely need to. In there, if you're doing like all mountain freestyle, you know, your Capita Mercuries, your Jones Mountain Twins, your ride algorithms, stuff like that. So you get that. Then you want your POW specific board that's just like it's 12 inches or more. So your Endeavor archetypes, you know, your K2 excavators, things like that. And then you want a park board for the spring or something like that. If you're more jib, you go softer. If you're more jumped, you go a little bit stiffer. But I always tend to find something that can kind of handle it all in there. So you're talking your Rome agents, your Rome artifacts, your Rosinal Retox, stuff like that. Something with a little bit of camber in there. For a party board, it depends how directional you really want and where you're riding. If you're riding like it's going to be more slush and wet, I actually think a 3BT board like a Party Wave from Battalion would be absolutely amazing. But if you still want something that, you know, you get late spring snows, then maybe your Telos / your Ride Super Pig in there as well. And then you always should have your just fucking junk board that you hit rocks with in the preseason. Like that's always a given. So yeah, so there's that. Okay. So to go back to Tim Hunt, really trying to figure out what asim twin to replace the assimilator. Not sure I want the grades. Bench warmer best to go to. Did you ride the 154 wide? I did ride. I've got the 154 wide sitting right there. That is exactly what I rode, was the 154 wide. If you're coming off the assimilator, the bench warmer is going to be stiffer, noticeably stiffer than that. The Greats is literally the closest thing to it in terms of flex. The Zero from Ride would kind of fit in there to an extent. Also, the Lago double barrel would do that. You could get that in a 55. So, you know, there's that for you. All right. Let's see what we got here. Super chat from Josh Sims. Hey, man. Just wondering what your thoughts on the 2022 Burton Genesis reflex bindings, and do you think they'd pair well with the 2023 Super DOA size 10 Burton Photon? Yeah, the Genesis will match up fine to the Super DOA. You know, the big thing is you're in a Burton boot, so a Burton binding, it's going to match in there. I've ridden the Genesis, but it was like 3 generations ago, something like 2-3 generations ago. So, yeah. So there's that, but putting it on a Super DOA, that's fine. I mean, that'll totally work for you. That strap should cradle around your boot, give you a little bit of lateral play, but then you'll still get that drive toe to heel in there if you need it. Ooh. Next on Super Chat gets a spin. Let's find a good question here. Okay, let's see. JMax 630. What boards would recommend that rides similar to the Nitro Banker but has a twin shape and all mountain use? So if you want something similar to the Banker that's a little more all mountainy and twinish, and you stick with Nitro, you're gonna want to go with like the Team or the Team Pro. Probably the Team Pro, just be a little more snappy in there. Otherwise, God, I think someone died out in front of my house. You still want that twin all mountain use. I mean, you're literally looking at your Capita Mercs, your Mega Merc. The Merc is probably closer to the Banker than the Mercury rather than the Mega Merc. Jones Mountain Twin, your to an extent the Nidecker Escape, but that board kind of rides like shit. The Telos DST would be another one as well. So I think that'll give you a few options. And you want yourself a spin, so let's do this. All right. Remember to subscribe. Okay, we got Waco with the super chat. Thanks for putting up with question poppers. Hashtag stay angry. All right. Here we go. What do we got? Oh shit, dude. Won yourself a t-shirt. You know the drill. Hit me up, info@angrysnowboarder with your t-shirt size and your mailing address, and I will get that in the mail to you. And yeah. So, yep. You won yourself a t-shirt. See, you can win prizes on this. I don't see anyone else stepping up like that. Nirigazik Kenyan. Which do you think is more important for making a fun board? Sidecut or camber profile? I know it's a combination of many factors, but which do you think plays a larger role? Camber profile. Because a weak rider that you put on traditional camber that's never had traditional camber will tell you the board is stiff. So if you put them into like a new age camber where it's like flat, then it comes down and then it flattens back out again. So it's like a mellow camber. It'll ride softer for them. It'll be more engaging. It'll be more quote unquote fun for them. The side cut will then work in conjunction with that camber profile and the natural flex pattern of the board. But I think camber profile really has one. It's kind of like whenever I deal with one of these fucking troglodytes that rides a Never Summer, and they're like, I can just lean back and I'm in a fucking press and it's fucking amazing. Oh my God. And I'm like, yeah, dude, it's cool because your fucking board is like this. You're leaning back and hitting the flex point right where the camber comes down or into the reverse, and it just goes like this because you're a fucking back-footed rider. It's like, Jesus Christ, it doesn't matter. All right. So, yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Beach Bum Snowboarder. Ever heard of people twinning out an ICS board like the Burton Customs? I'd assume that means moving from reference stance to make it twinish. Wouldn't that mess up the ride? I've seen people do all sorts of stupid shit on those things. Who cares? Who cares? If you don't ride reference stance, it's okay. It's not going to kill you. It's personal preference. As long as you don't have more tail than nose, it's fine. Yes, it's going to change like the turn initiation a little bit, but when you're on a directional twin and you twin it on there, other than the flex pattern being a little different or the side cut, it's going to be fine. It's not going to kill you. So, yeah. All right. We got Nick. Angry, thanks. Riding the Pennaquark a lot with Burton Cartel X and Driver X. Hitting the park more. Would I benefit / notice a difference on a park setup? Oh, God, yes. I have pro forms for Burton's C3 Amplid Carua. What setup? 6'1", size 12 boot, 225 pounds. First off, first rule of pro form, you do not talk about pro form. You do not mention pro form because people will now wonder what pro form is. Because you did that, you get no answer. Okay. Let's see. Oh, God. All right. Let's see. Where were we? Okay, we got a super chat from Fruit Poop Loops. Just wanted to say thank you for all the tips and advice you've given me this season. Looks like my season is coming to an end. Got 51 days. Hashtag spin for Slim. Fucking Slimothy Whitman, our Lord and Savior. Well. Oh, it bounced out. Beware crotch goblins in the park. Beware crotch goblins in the park. All right. Let's see. Petricus, what's your vibe on that dude, Malcolm? I have no fucking clue who this guy is. Like, probably just another person I don't give a fuck about. All right. All right, let's see. Okay. Kyle Murphy. Hey, man, I have a Rossi Jibsaw and a Lib Tech Dynamo. Love the Dynamo. The Jibsaw's are right, better than I expected. I wanted a twin that's more playful, more freestyle, park-focused, riding in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, they complement each other. The Dynamo is going to be better for riding the Northwest. It's just more damp. It's going to crush through that Sierra cement or the Cascade concrete that you guys get up there in that wetter snow. The Jibsaw is what it is. It's kind of like an underrated board. I think most people don't realize it. They look at it like Rosnell and they're like, and then they get on it and they're like, oh, it's predictable. It's not a bad board. It's like not like something absolutely fucking mind-blowing out there, but they do complement each other. Okay, Jason Alba, about the Rome party mod. Great for a lazy old dude like me. Thanks. Hashtag stay angry. I have a Rome party mod. I've actually got next year's sitting in the other room too, the 56. Love that board. It's so easy to ride. Whew. Damn, the wheel is possessed today. The wheel is possessed. Remember to subscribe, people. Remember to subscribe. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Let's see. All right. Trying to find a question. Anyways, if you're just tuning in, you got questions. I know there's 134 of you. Get them in the chat box. I'm going to try to answer them. Get them taken care of for you. Okay. Looking for stuff. Oh, here's one from Turning Boards. Broke the helmet this week, jumping the Fish 3D in the park. Well, if you broke the helmet, you might be concussed. Take a week off. I just moved the bindings forwards and went down nose. Having any recommendations on riding a directional board in the park? Yeah. I mean, if you're riding a crazy directional board, you ride it like a directional board. 360s, you don't really ride much switch because if there's no tail on it and stuff like that. Know your ability, understand everything, and like because they're set back, so when you're doing a board slide, you're gonna end up with a ton of nose hanging over the rail, and like the back section is like really where it hugs in. You know, it's fun to ride directional boards in the park, but I love it when I see people that don't know what they're doing, and I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna die, and then they die, and I'm like, what the fuck were you thinking? So, all right. If what wide board would you recommend? Something for carving and plus 27 centimeter waist. Go check out a Carua. So yeah. Oh, a bad idol. What binding would you put on a park dedicated wallet? I feel like that's an oxymoron of a question. A park dedicated wallet. It's a fucking park board that is soft as fuck. It is the only thing that thing can do. Like seriously, you want to put a soft binding on it, match it up, put a pair of Contact Pros from Union on there, maybe like a Rome Vice, or if you really want to and you hate your life, put a Crux on there. I don't know, maybe a 390 Boss from Rome. You could put like a Now IPO on it. Let's see, a bent metal joint, Burton Malavita, K2. You'd probably want to put like the lineup or even a Lean AT. So yeah, okay. Okay. Why are you on YouTube? Didn't buy a pass this year, but I've eaten like 20-something tickets because I was stupid. Should I keep eating it or just save up for those passes and get it all next year? a season pass in the grand scheme of things, if you go a lot, is cheaper than buying day tickets. Today was day 57 at Copper for me, which means that I have 59 days on my Icon Pass. I paid $7.99, I think, for it. Let's see. Well, we'll just go with $7.99. So $7.99 divided by 59 equals, I paid $13.54 a day on that. Now, when you figure that Copper is charging $210 a day, I got my money's worth out of that. So let's go A Basin. I think I'm getting around, I've got close to 50 days. So we'll just go with 50 days. And I paid $4.99 for it. So $4.99 divided by 50. So I paid $9.98 a day to ride A Basin. That's fucking cheap, dude. Like, way better than eating the price for passes. So, or day tickets. Like season passes, the more you go, the cheaper it just becomes. It's kind of like my parking pass at Copper. I paid $400 for the parking pass. I've parked in a lot that charges $50 a day, and I have pretty much parked there probably 45 days. Like, I'm paying pennies on the dollar to park right next to the chairlift. It's totally worth it, you know? That's the whole thing. Like, season passes are definitely worth it, especially if you go more than 5 to 10 days. They just get cheaper. It's so worth it. Like, I've already bought my Icon Pass for next year. I put my $49 deposit down on my A Basin Pass. Why? Because I know I'm going to get my money's worth out of it. Copper closes in 25 days, and I'll probably get about 20 more days there. So that'll put me at 77 days, which is about what I averaged there. And then A Basin will be open for probably another 45 to 60 days, give or take. And I will probably get like another 40 days there as well. Like at that point, pennies on, you're paying like a couple dollars a day to shred. It's so much more worth it. Like buying a season pass is worth it. Unless it's an epic pass, because then all you do is stand in line and never get to ride. So, you know, but don't worry. Jimmy Fuckhouse will tell you how great it is to go to Keystone and get run over by him on School Marm. Fucking ass clown. Did anyone see that today? Or like this week that Unofficial Networks posted his video of him running over one of his idiot fans. And let's be real, his fans are fucking idiots. Like, and I can back this up. So I was riding back from Union Meadows. So I had to go ride the Timberline chair, and I will not ride the chair with people that look like they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So I'm like, prosthetic leg, gotta get it. I need all the space I can get. So there's this couple in front of me. First off, she's got white pants on, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, she almost fell twice getting on the chair. And I'm like, and then I look at her helmet, and it's got the Jimmy Fuckhouse sticker on it. And I was like, oh yeah, this ought to be great. I bet you they fall getting off the chair. Surprisingly, they didn't fall getting off the chair. But so when you get off the chair, it's like flat, and then it goes uphill. They sat down right at the base of the uphill to strap in. That's a Jonathan Buckhouse fan for you. They're so fucking stupid. They sit down on an uphill incline to try to get up and then wonder why they're sliding back down. That's it. Like, but anyways, to go back to getting him running over one of his fans, of course it's on School Marm, the fucking flattest run at Keystone, the most beginner-friendly run. And he did to quote my friend Italo, that was the ugliest backside 180 I've ever seen in my life. And then he promptly, because he had enough time, if he knew what he was doing, he would have been able to react. Idiot, like, basically landed on his stomach and toe edge and just slid into him and got hit. Fucking, like, what? Was this staged, or is he just that fucking dense? But then again, I mean, he chooses to ride Keystone, so he's probably fucking retarded. I mean, he didn't learn how to read till he was 5, or in the 5th grade anyways, and he was homeschooled. So that tells you his mom doesn't know how to read, which means his grandparents probably don't know how to read, and his great-grandparents. So his kids probably will never learn how to read. It's fucked. So stupid. But yeah, anyways, like the whole thing, like, but it was funny to see that they actually called him out. They're like, he claims he's a pro rider, and I just can't see it. And everyone, like the comments, just roasting this motherfucker. I was like, oh, that's brutal. It was fucking great. It was great. Okay, let's see what we got here. Bookjoy, how's the K2 party platter compared to the Warpig? I'm about to snap the Warpig's tail any day now. Want a decent charging all-mountain freestyle short fat I can jump and jib with. That's where the party platter differs from the Warpig's. The Warpig's got a thinner tip and tail in it. It's also slightly directional. It's got the taper in it. The party platter's true twin, and it's camber. And so it's got a thicker core profile. And for what you're looking for, the party platter actually makes more sense than the Warpig. Shylings, what would you recommend for a replacement for a Capita Pathfinder reverse? Something with camber. Like maybe bump up to a horoscope at least. Or like a Rome gangplank. Even though that's flat to rocker, it's still better than that full reverse on there. Yeah, that's what I would go. Ugh. Anthony Hawken looking for a super chat. Smash the like button. All right, Carlos Enriquez, what do you think about Academy snowboards? I wish they were made at their old factory. This whole made at never summer bullshit. Like, has anyone looked at them? Like, their bases look worse. Like, they just look rough. Like, I want to support Academy because I like Chad Otterstrom, but the boards, and it's made by Never Summer. They pour like a gallon of epoxy in their fucking boards. They decamber it like 15 to 20 days. They always have. They just don't hold their shape. They don't hold their pop. It's like, I've ridden a bunch of the Academy stuff. Some of it's kind of cool. And like, I like the Masters. Chris Roach is cool. Graduates, whatever. It's kind of meh. What else? The team was meh. You know, they're just kind of middle of the road boards. Like, unfortunately, like I rode them and I'm just like, meh. They're snowboards, but you know, made it Never Summer. Oh, fuck, dude. That factory fucking sucks ass. It sucks ass. It is a filthy fucking factory, like with a ton of contamination. It literally looks like a factory from 1995. Why? Because that's about when it peaked. So, as a brand, Academy's cool. Being built at Never Summer, they could be better. Ugh, eat your muscle cheese. I sound cow. Can the ride algorithm be a good progressing parkboard? If you're asking this question, then no. I'll just be honest. No, you need a park board that's softer flexing than that board. Something that's not going to hold you back and give you an exponential learning curve. Because the second you try to actually press that and you're pushing hard into it, you're going to be like, why is this taking so much work? And then when you go sideways on a rail, it's going to buck you. It's going to be hooky when you come down out of a jump. Like, you need something that's a little more soft and forgiving. So that way, when you land and you twist the board, you can manhandle it and ride it out. Like, that's the big difference. Fire cures all. Wonder Boy, me and my son carry a pass to Dodge Ridge here in California. We got a few good dumps. We get a few good dumps a year, but it's a slush fest pretty much all the time. My question, what's your favorite board for slush? It's not that I have a favorite board for slush. It's that you put the right structure in the base that of the board you're riding for the structure or for it. So when you take it to a shop, like any good tune shop that knows what the fuck they're actually doing, will understand how to widen or tighten the structure pattern and whether to give it a crosshatch or not. There's like so many variables in there. But if you go to a good shop, and it's usually a ski shop, and you got to kind of talk to them and be like, look, man, I'm riding it. It's wet. It's slushy. I need something that's just going to help funnel this slush off the base, keep my speed up and whatnot. Once you figure that out, everything else gets exponentially easier. Okay. This is a good question from 1981 SPL. Love the no bullshit attitude, bro. As a 10-time-a-year intermediate for 15 years who's never owned his own board, can you recommend a solid progression kit for me? Need to get better. Yeah, man. There's actually a top 5 list called Top 5 Boards for the Progressing Intermediate Rider. Go watch it. Seriously, go watch that. I mean, there's a bunch of great boards on there. Take your pick of those boards. Then go find the top 5 best bang for the buck video for bindings. Pick a binding from there. And that's going to get you where you need to be. Those two, you're going to watch that. That's going to give you 5 options for bindings, 5 options for boards. And then from there, it's play mix and match. And if you need more, any of those boards listed in that top 5, I'll have a review of it. You can search that review, watch that. That's going to give you a more general impression. From there, narrow it down to 2 choices. Then go to your local shop, if that's where you want, talk to them, see what they got available for it. Or if you're buying online, go through any of the affiliate links and just dial it in from there. That's the best way that I can say to just dial this in and get you to where you need to be. All right, we got a super chat from Marcus Sharp. Got a Rum Freaker in this week, thanks to your review list. Maybe too advanced for this rad dad to take full advantage of, but it looked too fun to pass on. No questions. Just thanks for all that you do. If you're a solid intermediate rider, just understand that it's got a lot of rebound and snap into it. Just go a little faster than you think you have to and put a little more pressure when you load it up and stuff. It's essentially just a stiffer, snappier, more lively version, or reactive, I should say, version of the Warden. That's literally what the Freaker is. Gilson sucks. All you need to know. Gilson sucks. Okay. Jesse, hey, Mr. Angry, I'm a beginner like I've been 7 times. Buying my first board. Is the Huck knife too much to start with? Oh, God, yes. Yes, you don't need the Solomon Huck knife. Go get a Solomon Craft. That is a far better board to learn on that won't hold you back. Like, you do not need a fucking Huck knife. Why is it that people, like, I don't get this. I've been getting a lot of these questions from people that, like, clearly don't know their ass from a hole in the ground, and they just have verbal diarrhea at me, and they're just like, and then they want to argue with me. I'm not saying that you want to argue with me, but I'm saying that they want to argue with me. Like, this past week has just been the fucking dumbest of the dumb questions that I've gotten from people that are like, I'm a beginner. I want to buy a Capita Black Snowboard of Death. And I was like, why the fuck you want that? It's going to kill you. And then they try to argue with me. And I'm like, no, I've been doing this for fucking years. Like, I'm going to tell you, if I was still working on a snowboard shop sales floor and you came in and we were having this discussion, I wouldn't sell it to you. I'd just be like, get out. Beat it, nerd. Yeah. Yeah. You don't need a Huck knife. You need, like, realistically, you probably need like a Rome mechanic, maybe a gangplank, the Craft, a Ride Agenda, maybe like even a Rosinell Jibsaw would work for you. These would all get you. So, yeah, these are all going to get you. Okay. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. Chris Stott, what thread locker do you use for bindings? Clear nail polish that's gel. That's what I use if I absolutely have to. I'll actually have a video coming out in the off season for that. What specific type of foam to use to modify the fit of aging boots? It's 3M foam. This is what it is. This is actually a circle cut out of a sheet of it. So it's 3M foam. You can get it on tonar.com. You can still find some on Amazon. But yeah, it's look at the thickness on it. I think this is 3 mils or 4 mils. But that's what it is. But yeah, it's a 3M. It's got the adhesive back on it. It's super adhesive. So that's realistically what you need. Also, I am redoing the boot fitting 101 videos, and I'm hoping to have the boot fitting 202 series done if I can get access to a boot lab to grind what I need to grind and show you guys how to do that. Yeah. Okay. Got a super chat from Buck Choi. My DC Control medium flex boots crapping out after 1.5 seasons because I ride 50 plus days now. Should I upgrade to a much stiffer DC Judge to get more days? The best boot's the one that fits your foot and fits your needs, right? So you got to figure that out. But general rule of thumb is you The stiffer the boot, the longer it takes to break down. I actually just killed a set of Thraxis today. I'm pretty sure they're fucking done. They're like done. And they got about 100 days. So they don't owe me anything out of it. But the way you got to look at it is a boot will never be as stiff as it is the day you try it on. It's going to progressively just get softer and softer. So if you buy a soft boot at the start of the season and you're riding 50 days, that thing's going to be mush at 50 days, right? So if you buy something that's a little stiffer at 50 days, it's going to be more broken in when you finally get to that point. So for me, like classic example, because everyone always gives me shit that I will go ride park on the K2 Thraxis. They're like, that's such a stiff boot and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, it's not. And here's why. Because after 20 days of riding it, it's broken in. It's a medium flex boot. And then at about 80 days, it starts to get softer. Like right now, the ones I'm riding, I consider them a fucking park boot. I don't have the response that I used to have out of them. I don't have the same fit that I have out of them. I can just feel that there's just more give. I'm actually going to pull my liners out tonight and put them in a new shell so that I have a more responsive shell so I can ride these like 30 free ride boards that I've got sitting in the other room because I need something with more response. And that's kind of the big thing with it is like the more you ride, the more you realize you do need, I mean, within personal preference, fit and whatnot, you need something that's going to last longer. There's a reason why I pay a lot of money for a boot. Like I know it's going to last. I used to break back spines. When I was riding the Vans Fargos, I would snap the back spine at like 80 days on the boot and it would pinch my heel. Solomon's were the same thing. Burton doing that. When K2 came out with the urethane back spine in their boots, I stopped breaking back spines and getting weird crease points, and I could get like an extra 20 to 30 days out of the boot, but I paid more for it. I knew that going in, but I knew that I would get more out of it. So, you know, when you're paying $478 for a boot, but you're getting 100 days out of it, you're paying $4.78 a day to ride that boot. And that's fine. I feel like I get my money's worth out of it. So hopefully that kind of answers your question on like what you should be doing when you look at boots and how to get them better dialed in. Nice, dude. Won yourself a jumbo sticker pack. All you got to do is email me info at Angry Snowboarder, and I'll get that jumbo in the mail to you. So, yeah. Anyways, let's see what we got here. Another super chat from Carlos Enriquez. I know how you feel. We have a local brand here in Aspen, High Society, and I want to support them, but the boards are made at the Never Summer Factory. High Society doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. That's just a brand I gave up on like 10 years ago. After talking with their marketing guy one time, I was just like, you have no fucking clue what you're doing. Like, High Society. They're high. All right. Ollie them slow signs. Yo, Greco, Loveland Games, your perspective wasn't there. Don't have one. Looked like it was a fun time for all the homies that were there. It's not my scene usually. The high point of my day, though, from that, I should read this because I sent this to Billy Ray, our moderator, the other day. This is the funniest fucking shit that, where is it? Let's see. Here it is. This guy posted, he's like, Lost Battalion. I left my battalion boss 159 wide with Technine Mark Frank Montoya bindings at Loveland Pass yesterday at Love Games. Funny thing is, someone watched me ride over my board real slow and did nothing to stop me. Saw him staring at me, glanced at him a few times as I was pulling out. No wave, no nothing, psychopath. Anyway, it's not there anymore. Went back to look, but she's gone. How fucked up were you that you drove over your own fucking snowboard and proceeded to keep going, and then you're bitching because someone watched you do it and was just like, they were probably just mortified that you were that stupid. But the best was this guy, this was on the local community page for Summit County. This guy started arguing with everyone about it. And like, at first I felt kind of sad for him, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll like be like, hey dude, I got a board for you, board bindings, here you go do it. But the fact that he was like, so I backed over my own snowboard. What? And I was like, how the fuck do you not feel your car going over that? Like when I back over like an ice boulder, I feel it. I feel everything. Like, you know, like how fucking dense do you have to be? Or what drugs were you fucking on that you backed over your snowboard and then just went home and left it there? I hope whoever found it gave it to a good home. I hope it never comes back to you. That's what the Love Games was all about. So yeah. All right. Okay. Where are we? We've got Kareem 2K, GNU Hyperkyarv or Battalion Camel 2 for a directional all mountain with a freestyle touch. The Hyperkyarv is a little softer and more forgiving. It's a little more buttery and playful just with the camber profile. And there, the Camel 2 is more aggressive and hard charger, so I would definitely go with the Hyperkyarv. Next on Super Chat gets a spin. Okay. We'll take this one from Frank 0020. What Rossi, if any, fit in an intermediate progression board like that Magna traction? No, Magna traction, not manga. Manga is like a comic book from Japan. You're probably looking at like the Revenant or the Resurgence. Probably more so the Revenant. That's kind of, I think that's where that's really going to be for that intermediate progression board. Also, the Jibsaw kind of fits in there as well. So you got two options right there from them. Fire cures all. Okay, this is actually a good question from Fruit Poop Loops. Best way to get into the industry? Would I need an engineering degree to work in a design team? This is my first year working at a board shop and about to be laid off at the end of the season. It depends what you want to do, but if you're looking at being an engineer, you should learn how to do SolidWorks. That's the big one that everyone's using right now. You should know how to design, and you should understand all the manufacturing things. The big thing is working with your local reps and trying to get yourself into a position where you become a tester for them and they value you giving back your feedback from riding the product and doing that and basically nerding out on it. I've been in that position where I've sat down in design meetings. I've talked to designers, kind of gone over everything from boots, boards, bindings, and whatnot. I have no background in SolidWorks. So like the last time I actually designed like a full snowboard, I think I drew it on a piece of scrap paper and took a photo and just texted it. And it was like, make this work. And they were like, actually, and then like I wrote out like what I wanted the specs to be. And they were like, actually, I think that will work. And they made it work. So, but yeah, that's kind of how you're going to get into the industry. Like, and, you know, getting some experience under your belt and connections. It's a lot of who you know. And if you piss someone off, they'll bogart you or they'll bury you. It's pretty easy like that. Then again, every person that's gatekept me said that I would never make it anywhere, and I'm still here and they're not. So they can suck a fart out of my ass. Yeah. So, okay. All right. Anthony Hawking, gonna miss simping for snowboard content now that the season over. What's the biggest piece of crap you rode this year? For 2021-22, I don't really ride any crap because I cherry picked everything this past year. And even right now with the 2023 stuff, like things are so good. There's stuff that I like it's a little too soft for me, or it's a little hooky. Like, I mean, the only thing that I would say might be considered a piece of crap is I got a board. It was twisted coming out of the press. I can tell. I put it flat and you can see that it's like hitting opposite contact points. It's not a bad board, like by any means. It just means that it was still warm when they broke the mold apart and it twisted. That was just a bad experience with a board that's been twisted. But I think over the years, I've ridden like 15, 20 different twisted boards. So there's nothing crazy that's really sticking out right now at all. Then again, I feel like the companies that suck know not to send me something because that I will just ream them a new ass. So, yeah. All right. Okay, we got Justin G. Hey, homie, at 5'9", 177 pounds. Would I sacrifice too much stability for carving and speed if I went with a 55 Mercury instead of the 57? Want to be able to throw the board around a bit. No, you'll be fine. just understand when you're driving a very hard carve, if you hit like remote ice, firm snow, it may kick out a little bit on you, and you won't have that power to pop you back into a standing position. It may kick out on you. Otherwise, I think you're totally fine going with a 55 Mercury. All right. All right. Janky Snowboarding, do you downsize your boot size from your skate shoe size? No, because I wear tight skate shoes. But for me, like the big thing with me is my right is a 10 3/4 and my left is a 9 3/4. So I have a full size difference because of a collapsed arch. So my right foot, so I'm in a size 10. So there's a little more wiggle room in the left boot. And then in the right boot, it's a hard press into the shell until everything kind of breaks in and decompresses and fits in there. So that's realistically my issue with things. But most people that buy boots based on their shoe size are in a boot that's too big for them. You need to get sized, and you should understand that when you're in the boot, big toe should be touching the end like this. When you're standing straight up and the boot's tied and everything, you should be able to rub the end of it. And then when you flex at the ankle and bring your knee over the toe, it should pull back just a hair, giving you a little bit of wiggle room in there. And that's how you want the boot to actually fit. Like I had someone telling me the other day that they were like, if they can't move their foot like that much, then the boot is too small. And I was like, no, the boot's too big. And they were arguing with me. And I looked at them and I was just like, I snowboard 100+ days a year. I went to boot fitting school. I know more than you. Well, that's just how I do it. And I was like, yeah, and you've been doing it wrong. Probably why your girlfriend left you, because you've been doing it wrong. So, yeah. Then we got a super chat for Flow Job. So this is who this spins for. Ooh. Beware of frostbite. Almost got some again yesterday. Okay. All right, we got a question here from V West. Ripped out the metal edge on my Rome National and tried to fix it with some epoxy. If that doesn't hold, what would be a good twin replacement for boosting side hits and ripping hard carve size 12 boots? So if you mixed epoxy, you got to make sure that you mix 2-part epoxy, and you want to use more resin than hardener. That way it's going to flex with the natural flex of the board in there. Because if you use more hardener than resiner, it'll just crack and pop out. That board's still probably shot. The other thing that you can always do is cut the base, put a screw into the sidewall, and then epoxy it, and then base weld it and P-Tex it over it. But if you're looking for something that's similar to the National that's going to fit your size 12s, I'd look at a Jones Mountain Twin. Probably the Ride Bench Warmer would be really close to that as well. Let's see. To an extent, the Yes Typo fits in with that as well, or maybe even the Roman on ink basic from Yes. Even the Greats, I guess, would kind of fit in there too. If you wanted to go do like a Mervyn, I would look at the Headspace as well. So you've got options. That's the big thing, is you've got options. Nabil Mamar, which thickness of Remind insole do you recommend if I like the fit of my boot? Take your insole out, and then if you can, you want to see how that insole matches up to your Remind that you're going to put in there. So you want to make sure that it fits in there. So like I always understand too that these are a little thicker than a stock insole, so it's going to raise you up. You can reheat mold the liner and put them in there and have them kind of compress down and do stuff. I've got to sit down and edit it at some point, but I got to do my taxes first. I did a whole video. I filmed it already of comparison of every Remind insole across the board, from the Destin to the Cush Impact to the fully heat moldable, customizable one. I basically got that. I got to get that done for you guys. Okay, Eric Chen, tips on finding boots next season. Local shops only carry lower end boots and soft, and the one that sells higher end only sell 32. You might have to travel, dude. And if you travel to a destination resort, there are shops at almost every destination resort that can do it. Either that or figure out who's got the best online return policy if it doesn't fit, and will pay with the shipping and whatnot in there. And that's going to be how you kind of have to do it. But what I will tell you is when you do find a boot that fits you, buy 2 pairs. Buy 2. So when you kill the first pair, you got a second pair, you can just be like, and then when you know that works, you buy 2 more of the exact same thing again. So when that pair dies, you do it. This is why I always say that I ride a K2 Thraxis boot, because it's the only boot that fits my foot and fits my needs. So I'm constantly keeping sets of them around. I've got 3 pairs in this room of dead ones. I've got 2 pairs of dead ones in my laundry room. I got 2 brand new pairs in my bedroom. I got my pair in the hallway that I'm about to retire. And I think in the living room, there's like 2 more pairs under a pile of boxes because everything's buried under binding and board boxes out there as well. But I keep them so that I can compare year over year, like where they're breaking and whatnot, so that when they fix things, I understand that. And worst comes to worst, if I blow a left boot, but my right boot's still good, and it's the same boot in the same year, I can grab the left one that isn't blown from a pair that blew the right one, play mix and match. And I've done that to make it through a season. So this is why I say, like, when you find the boot, stick with the boot. Like, that's it. Like, you know it works. Don't fucking change it. It just fucking works. Like, you keep that consistency for consistency's sake going. So, yeah. Ooh, is it going to bounce? Ooh. Beware of crotch goblins in the park. Okay, we got Desert Dude with the super chat. Any thoughts, impressions of Cardiff Snowcraft? They're made at GP87. I think their marketing is horribly lacking. Their sales force isn't that good. When I looked at the boards in person when my local shop carried them, they were stiffer than I thought they were going to be. I mean, they've got some crazy tech and stuff going in there, but by and large, I wasn't like, oh, I need to ride this. I was kind of like, well, if I get to it, I get to it. I mean, are they going to be here in a few years? I don't know. They're also financially backed by Black Diamond. I don't know if people know that, but yeah, I think that's like where the money came from to start it. So whatever. I mean, good luck to Bjorn. I hope it works out for him. Ooh, is that going to bounce out? Nope. Someone actually like CC'd their marketing guy and me into an email trying to get us to talk, and I was just like, oh, why are you fucking making work for me? Seriously, like so much fucking work. So much work. Anyways, next on Super Chat gets a spin of the wheel. Oh, this is a good one from Dan Kelly. Do you think Vail will learn from their mistakes and stop overselling passes and limit crowding in the near future, as well as start treating their mountain employees better? Well, they're going to start base pay at $20 an hour next year, which, whatever. Are they going to stop overselling their passes? No, they're not until the municipalities that are affected stand up to them. That's what it's going to take, is people's town boards to fight for the towns that have the resorts. Like, we're dealing with this right now in Breckenridge. We've got 3 spots opening on our town council, and I think we got 9 people running. So, you know, everyone, I just voted, but the 3 people that I chose, the big things were that they were willing to say that they were going to fight against Vail. They wanted an impact study on traffic into town, ways to relieve congestion, and to convince not only Vail Resorts, but the timeshares and everything, that there has to be sustainable tourism for it. And when those work together, then it's right. Like, if, for example, if Breckenridge went back to the amount of tourists that came even 10 years ago, we would be somewhat sustainable. If we went back to 15 years ago, I think that would be peak and we would be comfortable. But I mean, I went to the grocery store yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. It's dead right now. There's 3 aisles that are just completely wiped clean because tourists bought everything off of it. And we're just like, Like basic staple stuff is just does not exist for us anymore. It's just one of those things. That's what it's going to take, is the municipalities to go to Vail Resorts and go, no, you can't keep overselling this. We can't have these lines of cars that are 14 miles down the road waiting for it. We can't have, like, Breckenridge, a normal day at Breckenridge midweek is somewhere between 16 and 22,000 people. And on a weekend, it's 22,000 to like 30 plus thousand. Copper, a busy weekend at Copper Mountain is 16,000 people. That's half. Like, that's completely different. Like, you can't do this. Vail, like, has taken a huge hit in their stock. I mean, it's down. I think last time I looked, I think it was down like $133 a share compared to its peak. That's the bottom line. That's all they care about, is their bottom line. So if you can hit their bottom line and prove that, like, there is a level that they have to hit where sustainability comes into play, and they do it. And if they do it, they can do it absolutely right. Like A-Basin, I'm a pass holder at A-Basin. For the last 2.5 years, A-Basin has slowly cut down their pass offerings. So season passes are capped. This year, they didn't sell out of their cap. They got close, but they didn't sell out. But the year before, they sold out of their cap. I can tell you right now, on a Saturday at 11 a.m., the longest lift line you'll wait for at A-Basin, if the chairlift doesn't stop because some troglodyte fell, maybe 10 minutes? Maybe. But it's probably closer to somewhere in the 5 to 7 minute range. That's insane when you think that, like, Breckenridge and Keystone will have an hour wait time for a chairlift. That's the difference. But what they did at A-Basin is, so they've cut down season pass sales 25%. They're on Icon Pass. They added more blackout dates and capped, how many times they can do that. They don't sell day tickets day of. Like, you can't walk up to the window and buy a ticket anymore. You have to buy it in advance. Powder Mountain in Utah has a ticket counter on their website, and it tells you when they've sold out. So when you buy in advance, it comes out. But I think they limit it to like 2,100 tickets somewhere or something like that, or maybe it's like 1,600, somewhere in there. But it basically breaks down to like 7 acres per person on the mountain, and they cap their season pass sales too. There is a level of sustainability that you have to hit, and it makes sense. Like, unfortunately, as everyone's like, oh, we got to be inclusive and we got to make it more affordable and we got to do this. Well, you know what comes with affordability? Longer fucking lift lines, more problems, more hazards. I mean, because of where I live in downtown Breckenridge, I am beholden to public parking lots. I have a pass to park there. If people over park there and I can't find a spot, I have to pay for parking for that night, or I have to find a spot to Jimmy rig it or do stuff. It's 4 weeks ago, it was so busy here downtown. I happened to see someone pulling out of a spot, so I was able to take it. Guy rolls up to me and he's like, I've been waiting for this spot for 20 minutes. And I looked at him and I was like, I have a parking pass to park here. I live here. Well, what's that mean? And I was like, this car is literally going to park at 2:00 today and not move until Monday morning, 8 a.m. It's going to fucking sit here. Well, what am I supposed to do? And I was like, I don't know. There's a fucking parking garage for you people. This is supposed to be for me. I can see my house. And so anyways, parking filled up. And where I live, I have an alley. People tried to park in the alley and block the whole fucking alley. I had to go out and yell at people and be like, what the fuck are you doing? And they're like, I can't find parking. And I was like, this is a private alley. You are blocking the only entrance in. You can't park here. There's no place, no car can get around you. This has to be free and clear. If I have to call an ambulance or something comes in, like, this is where we're at. And it ties into what Vail's doing and everything. They have a good product, like, for a relative, like, I mean, in the grand scheme of things of like offering, they just poorly implement it. And it's all about bottom line. At some point, you have to realize your bottom line is not going to increase. So you figure it out, and that's the number you need. Like A-Basin figured out, we sell X number of season passes. We have this many day tickets per day. We're open this long of a season. We know that we're going to get this many concessions. We're going to do this. We're going to be profitable, but we're not going to be like mega profitable. And that's kind of where we're at with things. And it comes down to you as the pass buyer. Like, I haven't owned an Epic Pass 7, 8 years now. And I had this conversation with this woman my neighbor was banging. She couldn't fathom, because she has an Epic Pass. She was flying in from Florida. She couldn't fathom that I live in Breckenridge and I will drive 14 miles to Copper every day. And she's like, I just don't get it. And I was like, how long did you wait in line today to get on the gondola? She's like, a half hour. And I was like, okay. I went to Copper, parked right next to the chairlift, got my shit on. Took me 15 minutes, walked to the chairlift, waited in line 3 minutes, and then I was on the hill in another 7. You waited a half hour, because there wasn't a lot of people, to get on a gondola, to ride the gondola for 18 minutes. So now you are 48 minutes in, to go stand in line for another 25 minutes to ride the chair for 7. You are an hour and a half before you touch snow. Do you understand? Like, to you, you think this is great and this is what you know. But to me, I'm like, I want to be able to get out my fucking car and get on the goddamn chair. It's like why I go to A Basin. I can park right next to the chair, throw my shit down, strap on right in front of my car, right on the beach spot, ride right down onto the pally chair. It is 7 minutes to the top. It's 3.5 to 4 minutes down. 11-minute lap. 2,000 vertical feet in 11 minutes. Versus like that. Like, and that's the big thing, is like you have to value what your time is. And I get that if it's the only option around you, maybe that's what you need to do. Or maybe you should start looking at like some of the mom and pop shop resorts that are near you and being like, well, it wouldn't be my first, second, or third choice because, well, this is my favorite or this is my favorite, but it's all owned by Epic, Icon, whatever. But this little off the beaten path resort, you're like, you go on a Tuesday afternoon at 3:00 because they got night riding till 9, and you're like, man, there's only 50 cars in the parking lot. I know everyone. It's great. You know, that's the thing. It's like, it comes down to the consumer, and so many people buy marketing. Like, my theory is a lot of the people that bitch and moan about these lines at the Vail Resorts will still buy the pass because that's all they know. They're also the same fucking idiots that buy Dope Snow and Montec. They're the same people that buy whatever Gilson's brand collaboration of the day is. You know, they'll buy that shit. They're fucking cheap. They can't think outside the box. Like, you know, it's like that woman. She just couldn't fathom that I was willing to drive 20 minutes one way every day versus being able to walk the 3 blocks to the gondola. And I'm like, it's the quality that I get. Like today, it's USASA Nationals Week, or it's going into Nationals Week at Copper. There's tons of kids, families here. We got 6 inches plus of snow overnight, or all day yesterday and overnight, right? I rolled up, I parked, I was on the chair in like 10 minutes. The longest I waited in line was 5, 10 minutes max, maybe, because the chairlift stopped once. I got first tracks, pow, on my first lap, came down, go back up to the top, first person out the access gate on the goat path. So, you know, that was fine. I got that. I did it. I rode it. 3rd, 4th, 5th lap, the only tracks were mine. That's the difference. So, like, you know, it's like, what is your time absolutely worth? And what's your enjoyment? Like, we're all trying to enjoy it, but if you're buying these passes and joining the masses, you're not waiting in traffic. You are traffic, if you get what I'm saying. And it's also like in North America and the US especially, there was something like 1.2 million vacation days that just weren't used. Like, everyone goes on the same vacation days. It's like, oh, President's Weekend, let's all fucking go. Why don't you go the week before President's Day or arrive on President's Day and have that? Like, our moderator, Billy Ray, who's not here today, he was supposed to fly in before we changed some plans around, but he was supposed to fly in on President's Monday. And he's like, how bad is this going to be? And I was like, this isn't going to be bad. So he came up, he was here for that week. And he's like, dude, we didn't wait in lines. We had decent snow. We had, we had fun. I was like, yeah. I was like, this is, but you want to know what it was this weekend? It was like, it took an hour to get from City Market to La Cima Mall. That's not even a full mile in Breckenridge that weekend. So, once again, ask yourself, like, are you willing to give the machine its money for a lesser experience? No, if you're not, that's why you just don't do it. So, yeah. Hopefully that answers your question, Dan. All right. Okay, we got Bandana Skim. Any advice, please? My buddy is debating between a Capita DOA and a Rome Stale cruiser. He's wanting to move out of the park scene into a more free ride style, but still have pop. I also say Nitro Team, GNU Essential Service. If he still wants freestyle pop and stuff, like the Stale cruiser or even the Freaker would be really good options for him. DOA, he'd be better off going to like a Mega Mercury, I think, if he wants that snap. Nitro Team, I haven't ridden, so I can't really totally comment on that, but he might actually like the mountain from them, the Griff Mountain. The Essential Service, no. Just no. He doesn't want that. I can tell you that right now. Okay. We got Jesus Freak with the super chat. Other than graphics, have there been any major changes to the Lib Tech Dynamo in the last few years, say since 18-19 season? I want to say there was a core change in there for 1920 or 2021. I think it was 1920. So I think, I'm not sure. Other than that, it the last like 2-3 years, it's been just the graphic for sure. So yeah. Oof. Ouch. Lose a turn. Okay, we got one from Waco. Is the Party Platter times Birdhouse Tony Hawk just a graphic, or is there more to the story? Asking for my skater cousin, simping on. It's just a graphic. Okay, another Party Platter question from Buck Choi. K2 Party Platter, 10.5 boots, 140 pounds. Can I downsize all the way to the 42 or stick with the 47? 25.4 versus 26.4 width. Currently on the 48 Warpig. No, with a 10.5 boot and you're in a DC boot, it's a little bit bulkier. But as long as you're not riding like a 19-inch stance, as long as it's like at least 21, you should be fine on the 25.4 on there because it's going to be wider underfoot. You should be able to get done with it. You want to talk shit on me going to boot fitting school? Get the fuck out of here, you fucking troglodyte. You're just done. Boom, gone. Goodbye. Okay. Let's see. And we're going to hide user on this channel. Yep, you're done. Okay, we got Kevius Billy with the super chat. Could you ever imagine us being roommates? What kind of shenanigans would we get into? You can fucking die, dude. I'm fucking over your shit. Like, you fucking crazy ass crackhead motherfucker. I fucking hate you. I'm done with you. I'm blocking you. You're fucking out of here. I'm sick of this shit with you. You're done. Goodbye. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sick of this shit. Okay. Ugh. All right, we got, let's see. Mayor of Chilltown, smoking boards any good? My shop has a 2-year-old smoking super park for cheap. Thinking of pulling the trigger. So here's the thing with smoking. Like, they've got it. They do make quality boards. Like, don't get me wrong. They do make quality fucking boards on there. And the super park is snappy. They will break in just because of the way they do their layup and everything in there. So it will get softer. It will break in. There, I mean, if it's over 50% off because it's a 2-year-old board, if it's like at least 60 to 70% off, yeah, I'd say it's good. But if you ever break it and you try to claim the warranty on it, probably gonna be SOL. Jay's like kind of flighty on that shit and stuff. I mean, I've liked a lot of the stuff that he makes, but as a brand, he just like fucks people over left and right. And I just can't get behind it. So, unfortunately. All right. We got Fruit Poop Loops with the super chat. Deafen all the SoundClouds. Yeah. I got to update SoundCloud, but I've been putting the reviews and the live streams on there in audio format for people. I don't know if I'm going to do it again come the fall. I got to look at the numbers for total views and stuff, but yeah, you can usually listen to these on SoundCloud. Ooh, is it gonna bounce? Oop. Next on Super Chat gets a spin. Aaron Burella, have you written the Dinosaurs Will Die Duke? Hang on. I have written it now. Dinosaurs Will Die Duke. If you mean, have I written it? No, I haven't. And I talked to Gino. I will not be getting on Dinos boards until the fall of this year. They just don't have anything available, unfortunately. But you do get a spin of the Super Chat. Ugh. Oof. Lose a turn. So, all right. Evalia Katavovsky, what's your opinion on Technine snowboards? Their price point. They're owned by the same company that owns like Snow Jam and a few other ones. This dude Jacopo owns it, or he manages it or whatever. They're fucking trash. They're just low end trash. That's realistically what they are. Okay. We got Joe X with the super chat. Got my shirt in and love it. Thank you, man. He won a t-shirt on one of the spins of the wheel. It's a couple live streams ago. Wearing it right now. Thank you for the content you put out. Tell a lot of people about your board advice. Thank you for being honest. I'm trying here, man. I'm not perfect. I'm not fucking perfect at all. But just trying to get people where they need to be. Oof. There we go. Remember to subscribe. And we got our boy Jack Ripper with the super chat. Hope everyone is doing well. Remember, Satan loves you, right, Jack? Right. Smash that like button, people. Smash that like button. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Okay, where were we? Looking for questions. Okay, another super chat from Anthony Hocking. Definitely need editor for the Angry Rants clip channel. I don't even think I have a clip channel. I should make one. Just more fucking work. I don't need more work. I need employees. All right. Remember to subscribe, people. Sheldon Krieger, we had 9 inches of fresh snow. It had snow quality today. Legit the heaviest snow I've ever ridden, and I'm up there all the time. I have ridden some of the heaviest snow ever in Washington as well around this time of the year. You're just like, what the fuck? This is like, it is less snow and just like water. Just so much water. So, yeah. Oh, well. Ugh. Okay. Fuck Donic snowboards. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got here. Adventures of Murder. How do you feel about signal boards nowadays? I've got a Womp Eater, Tail Gunner, Super Park, Park Rocker, Park, Disruptor sitting in the other room that I'm going to ride. You know, they're coming out of a good factory. Like they finally, like they got into a good groove with how they do their subscription service. I'm really loving it. So, and I'm really, really loving how they've gotten that. They figured out how to get it to work. I wrote a WoW, maybe it was last year. I can't even remember. That was fun. Wasn't the right board for me. I mean, the Yup is an amazing board. Love the way that thing rides. Oh, I got a Sierra in there too. They sent me a Sierra. So, but yeah, you know, Signal, like, it's the brand that keeps on trucking and blows my mind. Because I'm like, how the fuck do they stay? Like, they just, they keep reinventing themselves, I guess, is the best way to look at it. And they've got a good following. The funny thing is, like, the two brands that I'm seeing the most boards from lately, randomly, Signal and Battalion. Like, those two companies are just blowing up all over the place. I'm just like, every time I go somewhere, I'm like, okay. So I do think the boards are solid. I'm going to hopefully ride them, and we'll see how that goes from there. Okay. Okay. Playing Ass K. What are the best boots for the highest instep you've ever seen? It's not the boot. It's the footbed, and it's a custom built footbed, and you're probably going to pay like $350 to $500 for it. And it's going to accommodate and do it. After that's taken care of, finding a boot becomes infinitely easier in there. But boots that I've generally seen that are good for high end steps, certain models of Solomon, certain models of Ride, Rome. Surprisingly, Rome is actually really good for high end steps. Kevin and I actually talked about it. They're like this underrated, like the Rome boots are kind of criminally underrated if they fit your foot. But Kevin has a high instep, and he and I were talking about it. Kevin Hub, that worked with me in the past, for anyone that doesn't know this, not Kevin Pierce from Snowboard Pro Camp, you know, king of the knuckle fucking hitter. But he and I, like, he's got instep pressure issues, and those were the one boot that he's never had issues with. So, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Let's see. Connor Copeland, any notable changes in the Ultra Mind Expander since your last review? I've been trying to pick a pow board and change my mind every day. It's still a super stiff, super cambered ripper. It really is. Like, yeah. Okay. I've got another one from Justin G. Following up on my last question about the Capita Mercury, any idea when you'll be reviewing the 2023? Curious to see how the new core affects the ride. I have a feeling my Capitas are sitting on my porch today. Like, I think they got delivered while this was going on. If they didn't, they will probably be here tomorrow. I know that they went out Monday, so they should be here. So the goal is next week. It looks like it's just going to be Pow Town for me, and I've got a ton of Pow boards I've got to crank through. So I'm going to crank through all the Pow boards. So it's like the Navigator. There's like a Niche Pyre, Niche Maelstrom. I got that Tail Gunner. I got that Womp Eater. I got a bunch of Pow decks I've got to fucking crank through next week. So it probably won't be next week, but it'll be the week after that. If you're a member of Angry Snowboarder VIP, the link is in the description. The early reviews, which will be in written form, drop May 1st, and you'll be one a day through the summer. Otherwise, all the video reviews will not start until September sometime. So, yeah. That's it. Okay, Hamster Cool Bean. Are you planning on going to Hood or Mammoth? No. A Basin will be open probably till end of May, maybe even June. So I'm going to stick around here. My family's coming to visit the end of May, so I want to be here for that. If I do go to Hood this summer, it probably wouldn't be till July. I'm kind of weighing the option of being like, do I want to go snowboard and just ride Slush Park, or do I want to take the whole summer off, rehab my whole body, train my dog some more? You know, it's like one of these things. I do miss going to Hood, so I kind of want to go to Hood, but also price of gas, travel, I'm kind of like, maybe I just stick around here. So it's like 50-50, I guess, right now. Lose a turn. Okay, DJ Happy Bird 13. Do you think James from The Good Ride watches your reviews and does his best to act like he's copying them? Oh, God, yeah. You can see it. He's always done that. I mean, look at the format on his website for how he writes them. That was the format I created almost 20 years ago at this point now. Like, seriously, I created that when I was 21. like that way of writing it out like that. So yeah, he totally, like, anyone doing reviews at this point have come to the conclusion, like, every time someone shows me something, I check it and I'm like, oh yeah, I started that, or oh, that's how I used to do that, or I stopped doing that because it was a horrible way to do it. Yeah, like, I think so. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know. James needs to go work in a snowboard shop for one fucking winter full time, and then he would and actually sell snowboards to someone's face, because that would teach him so much more about what he's doing and why he sucks. Okay. Let's see. I think we're kind of caught up on questions. So, I don't know. I've been here an hour and a half. I think I'm going to call it a day, fellas. All you fine folks, you snowboarders of the internet. Anyways, for those of you that won something from me today, make sure you reach out, info@Angry Snowboarder. Get your sticker, your t-shirt, whatever you want. Get that in the mail. And if you did win a t-shirt, make sure that you give me your t-shirt size. That's really important in there. So yeah, there's that. More explained videos coming out on Monday. Hopefully I'll get some top fives done this weekend. I got to do, I'm buried under work, so I'm like cutting corners where I can to keep up on shit. But so there's that. But yeah, anyways, if you guys are new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'm going to continue to be your host, and I'll see you in another video.